What's going on, guys? RPF Garage here, and today I'm going to talk about should you get a WRX. Now, there's a lot of drama, I should say, over this whole thing. A lot of drama, and that all has to do with the Subaru's unreliable. The Subaru is unreliable. It's slow, whatever. But honestly, I think Subarus are well worth it, big time. I think they're well worth it for the simple fact they sound amazing. They look good. They're not fast, but they're quick. I mean, it connects to the road really good. I love it. It feels like a race car. As close to the race cars you're going to get. Now, I'm on coilover, so it's automatically going to be stiffer and react a whole lot better, but this is about as close as you're going to get to an actual race car. I've driven Evo 9, Evo 8s, Evo 10s, pretty much all the Subarus, WRX, STI, Impreza. I've driven them all. Audis of various sorts, and I have to say though that the Subaru probably takes the cake for the simple fact, looks and sound. That's it. I know you can't make power on them. That's fine. I don't need to make power. That's what I got my 240 for. But if you want an all-wheel drive car that will run you about 5-6 grand, this was 6 grand, tops 6 grand. Okay, then I would suggest a Subaru, because they have a lot of aftermarket stuff for them. I mean, you know, Evos and Audis do too, but I don't know, me personally, exhaust, intake, wheels and tires, or wheels and coilovers, your Subaru already looks and sounds good. So, me personally, I think yes, Subaru. I personally vote Subarus just because I like the way they sound and look. So, you know, if you want a short, brief, should I get one or should I not? Yes, get one. It'll change the way you think about a lot of stuff. It will change how you think about stuff, big time. I think whoever's watching this, you'll love it, okay? I love my Subaru. Like, I've only owned it for like a week now, and I've been daily driving it ever since I got it. I've put 1,000 miles on it since I've gotten it, and that's pretty easy to do in North Dakota. It's really easy to do. So, me personally, I think yes, get a Subaru. They're amazing. They're fun to drive. They are all-wheel drive. They have decent power. They're not the fastest by no means, but they're quick. You're always going to have people looking at you all the time. You're pretty much that's majority of what's going to happen is you're going to have people looking at you constantly all the time. I have semi-truck drivers look at me as I pass them. I always have people wave at me, talking to me about it. So, and you'll have this happen to you with an Evo as well. Not so much Audi, because there's Audis everywhere. And yeah, there's Subarus everywhere, but Subaru is more of one of those things that you're like, yeah, that's a Subaru, and it's nice. Audis are more luxurious, and they're more just like, oh, there's an Audi. Not like, oh shit, there's a Subaru right there, you know, a WRX or an STI. I think personally, this this one in particular drives better than any of the Evos I've ever driven. The Evo 8 that I drove was kind of a piece. It was an Evo, but it was kind of a piece. The Evo 9, slightly better. The Evo 10 was junk. And for me driving it, I hated it. It felt big. It felt like I was driving a truck. I didn't like how the interior was. I like the simplicity of the Subaru, especially this year, WRX, which is the L2. Favorite year. They're simple. They're simple. There's not much really to them, and I love that. I love the fact that there's not a whole lot to them. I love that. They're nice for that simple reason. Anyways, should you get a WRX? Yes, get it. Now, when I pull over up here and I start talking, I'll tell you things to look out for. We're gonna get into what to look out for, and I didn't really want this to be that type of video. I just wanted it to be, should you buy one or should you not? My opinion, buy one. They're a headache, but they're also amazing. When it's actually running, they're amazing vehicles, and don't underestimate them. Yeah, they're kind of a turd, they're kind of slow, but at the same time, it's not slow like your grandma's car, but it's not like it's not the fastest thing. It's quick, it'll get around traffic, no problem. You could put it in a second if you're going 30 miles an hour and just jet around people, but same time, you're not going to be doing a 10.0 unless you put a different trans in it and build the motor. So, I'm going to stop rambling. 4 things to look out for immediately. So your not power steering, water pump, serpentine belt, timing belt, and your head gaskets. So, when buying one, that is 100%, let me pull this out of your guys' way. That is what you look out for. Those 4 things. So, I would not, me personally, would not buy a Subaru of any year, because they all have the same problem. Of any year, I would not buy a Subaru if it did not come with papers of what's done to it and the repairs that was done to it. I would not get one if it didn't have the water pump replaced, the timing belt, and the head gasket. The serpentine belt's easy, so that's like a no-brainer. But those 3 things is immediately you want to make sure it was replaced, because you don't want to have to do it. Yeah, if you keep it for another 6 years, you'll have to do it. But, or if you're turning up the boost, you'll have to do it. But I got lucky. Mine is studded, and it's had the gasket done. My car on the chassis has 177,000 miles on it. But he bought a new motor, so it has, on the motor and trans, it has 59,200 and something like that. It has 60,000 miles basically, okay, on the motor and trans. So right away, that's good for me. It's a sub 100,000 mile motor and trans. Yeah, you'll still have a problem with it. What can you do? But it was also studded, head studded, and new gasket and new water pump immediately before he put it in. So I'm thankful for that. So, in my opinion, don't get one unless those 3 things have been replaced. The serpentine belt, you can do it yourself, not that big a deal. But those 3 things, massive. You really want to make sure that he has paperwork proof of it being done, because everybody, since these cars have those 3 problems, everybody always says, oh yeah, it's been done. Where's the papers? Oh, I didn't keep them, no, screw that. If you're gonna pay 4, 5, 6,000, you don't want to get in it, drive it for a couple weeks and it blow up. Now, with that being said, those are 3 things to look out for. With that being said, once you get it, don't bag on it. You will. I did. I mean, I didn't do it hard, but you're gonna get on it every stop sign or every other stop sign, because you just want to hear it and feel the power, stuff like that. But I don't know, it's really hard for me to tell you whether they're reliable or not, because nothing is reliable if you do not take care of it. Oil changes. I do coolant flushes every 10,000 miles. You don't need to do that by no means, but I do, because I want the best lubricity that I could get and the best cooling I could get out of what is in it. So every 3,000 to 2,500, 3,000 miles, I change the oil. I don't care if the oil looks brand new, I change it. The coolant, I do that flush that every 10,000 miles for the simple fact I haven't done it yet to this car, because I haven't drove it for 10,000 miles. I will probably end up doing that here soon, for the simple fact that I don't know how long it's been since he put new coolant in it. So I do that on my vehicles, on my 6-liter. It's kind of a must on a 6-liter. On my 240, but the motor's out of that every other week, so I put new coolant in it every week. But that's what I do. If you take care of these vehicles, or the Subarus, they'll take care of you. Yeah, they have their problems. They have head gasket problems, you bet, 100%. They have water pump issues, you bet, 100%. However, those are things that go out over time. And also, with the head gasket problem, if you're pretty much stock as far as levels go, you should be fine, because honestly, you don't know what a person did with these cars. You don't really know. So honestly, this didn't have what's done to it. The new motor had studded, all paperwork, by the way. I read through all the paperwork. First thing I would have done is pulled the motor out. Reason why, if I got this running and driving, totally fine. And the reason why is because I would put a new head gaskets in it and head stud it right away, and put a new water pump in it and timing belt, and carry on. The reason why is because they have that problem with them. It's kind of like when. It's not if, it is when it goes out. So that being said, make sure you have paperwork. These are reliable cars. If you do your maintenance, that is every vehicle's key. It lasts forever because of what? Maintenance. Oil changes every 3,000 miles. I do that. 3,000, 2,500 miles, 3,000 miles, I change it. I do coolant flushes every 10,000 miles. I probably already said that, but you need to do it. You absolutely do. As far as the oil goes, because the coolant, that's just me being overly protective over the motor. And it also tells you, how your oil and your coolant tells you how your motor is running. If you have fuel in there, then you probably have a stuck injector or a leaky injector. Or it's not even burning it in a cylinder, so you could have a dead cylinder. There's a lot of things. But those two things, coolant and oil, tell you how your motor is running. Tells you how your motor is running. Like I said, don't launch these cars. They're not made to launch. An Evo, you could get away with it, or Audi, you could probably get away with it, and you can get away with it in a Subaru. Just please be sure you know how to do it, because I don't want you guys to go out, get one, blow it up, and be like, oh, Subarus are junk. Now, everybody that's blown up a Subaru, every one of you guys, I want you to tell me what you did the exact moment it blew up. Because these cars, if you're driving normal, I shift at 3,000 RPMs every gear. 3,000, 3,500 RPMs every gear. That is how I normally drive. Yeah, I'll get on it here and there, but 3,500 RPMs, I don't rev it all the way up to 5,000, 6,000. No. I just let it do its thing. So I want you to tell me, everybody that's blown up your motors or blown up a transmission, what you did that it actually happened. Because I guarantee they weren't just driving like a grandpa and it just went kablooey. I guarantee that's not the case at all. I guarantee they were doing a pull, launched it, tried to drift it, dropped the clutch, whatever, and it blew. I guarantee it. Nope, nothing really breaks. And the only reason why things break is because it was stressed. At some point, or at that particular time, it was stressed enough it broke. That's the only reason why things break, obviously. So, with that being said, everybody that has blown one of these up, I want you to tell me what happened the exact moment. What were you doing that followed up to it? Did you keep ripping on it and keep ripping on it every time, just freaking ripping on it the whole time? Or were you just driving it like grandpa and all of a sudden you blew your head off? No, I'm sorry. I really find that hard to believe. Yes, these have problems. I'm not saying they don't. They do have their problems. But at the same time, though, what happened and what were you doing for it to do that? Poor maintenance. I'll tell you what happens, or what makes things break. As I already said, poor maintenance and stress. That's what makes things break. Every vehicle will break down. Every single one. I don't care. Ford, Chevy, Dodge, Nissan, Honda, it doesn't matter. Subaru, Mitsubishi, it does not matter to make. It'll break down if you don't do maintenance and don't freaking bag on it every time grandma's looking at you. Sorry, it had to be said. I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for it. That's fine. I don't really care. Subaru is a decent car, just like every other vehicle. Looks nice, sounds nice, and unfortunately, they get a bad rap. Again, I'm not backing up that they don't have problems. They have problems. Every vehicle does. As I just said, they have their problems. But it's sad that everybody either, hell, let's say you got a Subaru, okay? A week of owning it, you never launched it, you drove it like it was grandma's car on a Sunday morning, right? You just driving, and all of a sudden it blows up, all right? Now, I find it kind of hard to believe that it would happen like that, but let's say it does. Now, you don't know what the person did before you. They could have freaking drove it like it was a racetrack every day, or they could have drove it like grandma. Who knows? But you can't give Subaru a bad rap because you have to drop a couple $1,000s into it. If you're getting a car that is performance spec or anything, it will break. As with all your daily drivers. Shit, we have a 2016 and it breaks down. It doesn't break down constantly, but it's been in the shop a few times and it only has like 30,000 miles on it. Everything will break down. It's how you treat it and how you maintain it. So, again, not saying Subarus don't have problems. They do. And I keep saying this because you guys are going to attack me and I don't really care for it. But Subarus have their problems. Maintain them well. And you should not have a problem. They have their problems. So, get rid of the problems before it rises. Like I said, as soon as you get a Subaru, me personally, as soon as I got a Subaru, pull the motor out, head stud it, put new head gasket in it, and while I'm there, put other gaskets in it, whatever may be leaking or possibly could leak because it's older, I would do. Then put a new water pump in it, timing belt, slap it all back in, you're good to go. And for another 5 miles or whatever, no, for another 30,000 miles. So, with all that talking, I say yes. They're very much worth every penny. Now, I wouldn't buy a 2002, 2003, I wouldn't buy anything below 2010 for anything more than 6 or 7 or 8 grand. Everybody's selling their freaking grandma's 2004 for 15 grand. No. I'm sorry, vape. Just because you vaped in it once or twice doesn't mean it's triple the value. You want an actual value? Okay, now, I get they're kind of sought after. I understand that. This was 6 grand. It was steep for how many miles it was. Okay, it's 2,277,000 miles on the chassis. 6 grand, a little steep. That's fine. But, at the same time, though, I think that guy wanted to race. At the same time, though, they are selling for way too much, and I don't think they're really worth that much. 6-7 grand for closer, like 2008, 2009, a Hawkeye. Yeah, I'd buy it, but these 2002s to 2004s and 5s going for 9-10 grand, I would pay 4 or 5. Yeah, I paid 6 for this, but I mean, there wasn't a Subaru that was this clean for number one, rust-wise, and had decently low miles, as far as like not in the 200,000s miles. So yes, Subaru's worth it. Get it. You won't be sorry. Yeah, you'll probably have to spend, just if you get a Subaru, bet that you're gonna have to put at least $1,500, $2,000 into it. But once you do that, they are a machine. You have everybody looking at you. You have everybody trying to race you, even though it's not even freaking fast. It's quick, it's not fast. So you got Grandpa's Type R Civic right next to you at a stoplight trying to freaking race you, and you're just like, dude, I don't know how to launch it, so I'm gonna lose. So anyways, yes, they're worth it. Go out and get you one. But that's all I gotta say. So if you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see some more of the contents that are on the channel, hit that subscribe button. But until then,